Okay guys, we are back for Sunday Fun Day. But before we get too involved in this, let's go look at what is sitting outside. Do you want to see what's sitting outside? I'll show you what's sitting outside. You know you want to see what's sitting outside. Tell me, hey Rick, I want to see what's sitting outside. Give me a hell yeah. Let's take a look at what's sitting outside. Woo! Yeah, I figured she could sit outside today. Sun's out. Why not let her sit out here, right? There she is. All in her glory. Sometimes people ask me, where is she? There's my nice Mexican blanket I put on there. I love the blanket. My wife's garter. That's right. Yum, yum. I might have to take that back in the house and maybe put that back on her leg for the evening. Anyway, get my mind out of the gutter here. Yeah, my old pin there, Kennedy. He will win for president, even though I'm a Canadian. Doesn't mean I don't like Kennedy. There we go. There we go. It's kind of nice on December the 16th. Look at the sun out here. So this is what's around me. That's all my field area back there. You guys all know that. And there's my 40. Anyone looking? Got a 1940 Plymouth Coupe for sale. $8,000 or best offer. Has good BC title and comes with $6,000 worth of parts. Comes with all the Fat Man front suspension. The discs, the rotors, the calipers, the spindles, the dropped axle part, all of it. I got everything for it. $6,000 in parts. I'm asking $8,000 for the car, and I got BC title, and the car is 90% rust free. So put the word out. But look at the view around here, and look at that sun. What a day. What a beautiful day. I'm super happy, super stoked, because it's Sunday Fun Day, and it ain't snowing, and I'm not hearing a bunch of Christmas music shit on the radio. It's all rock and roll, just like it should be. Okay. Alright. So, what we're going to tackle today is I don't know where I left off here. I honestly don't remember. I think we had tacked the rocker on. We got the door lined up. We tacked the rocker on. That's right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to fit the back of the rocker to this thing. But I think before I do that, I'm going to cut some of this floor out. I'm going to cut some of this floor out, put a couple braces in here, cut some of this floor out to give myself a little room to work on the back of the rocker, because I don't have the car on the hoist. If I had it on the hoist, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just work from underneath, right? But so I think that's my goal. I'm gonna brace this up. Not that I'm worried about it moving too far, and brace this just because you never know. And then we'll do some cutting. Okay, what we're doing here is we're cutting away some room here. I got all cut away here. Good thing for me, all this is solid in behind here, and I haven't even cleaned that up yet. She's solid, and there's the back where we're going to be putting our rocker panel in here. I'm just cutting her away. So I got some room so we can work here. And like I say, then this will all lift up, go in place properly. Then we'll check our door gap again with our door closed. If everything lines up good, we're good to go. So yeah, so I'm going to continue cutting some of this crap out of here and just keep working at it. Okay, so I cut out that floor section to get it out of my way. Now before I get carried away here and start putting the inner rocker in, I want to show you guys. Obviously, I did a nice black spray on there. Not worried about this side because I can get to it after. And I drilled some holes to plug weld it. Now what I did, I doubt you're going to see this, but if you remember before I put this rocker on, you can kind of see it here. I had sprayed it with weld-through primer. But what I've done, if you look further in, this is all black rust paint I've put in here now. So what I do is, I did the weld-through primer last week when you guys were all watching. I took a gray Scotch Brite pad, scuffed her down a bit, and then I put a black rust paint on here, just like you're seeing on the opposite side of this here. Just to protect it, because you're not going to get in there much after it's done. I am going to be cutting this out, so I can get in there with my sprayer and spray some more stuff. Because we all know that even though you're using weld-through primer, I'm sure there's going to be a spot that's going to break through and be metal. Like I say, rust never sleeps. So we're going to put this in next, and we're going to plug weld it, and yeah, we're going to have a rocker on there. So we'll continue on. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna move my clamps as I go along here. Oh, come on off there, you bitch. Holy shit, what's wrong with that clamp? Well, I thought I wanted to move my clamps as I went along here. Holy Christ. This is the clamp that belongs in the garbage. But anyway, we're good there. So I can get into this far corner. And then, like I was just saying, we'll move them as we go along to make sure all this is staying all tight, that we're pinching it in good and tight. Now I gotta slide that a bit out of the way. There's always something in the way. This is one definitely a rotisserie is 100% the answer. But hey, we all can't afford a rotisserie, and sometimes I had one here. And sometimes when you get a car in a rotisserie, the problem is it adds a lot of length to the car, another 2-3 feet, because it sticks out so far. But not all of us have room in our shops for that. Oh, come on, bitch. For that, you know what I'm saying? Alright, okay. Beautiful. Okay, I'll show you what's going on here. Grab this camera. Okay. So, you can see I'm plug welding it as I go along, and that's plug welding onto the outer rocker. And I just move the clamps as I go. Of course, I got clamps holding it further down, along in here. But that's what I'm going to do. Just going to keep plugging her along, going one by one. At the same time, when you're doing that, you might want to, some people might want to start now at this end. I probably will. Probably put a couple plug welds down here. You want to make sure that nothing's moving. It shouldn't be. You've got it clamped, but maybe a couple there. Work my way up and then go back over here and just start and work my way to the center. Making sure the whole time that this inner rocker is staying level, the outer rocker. Okay? Don't get carried away welding down there and not paying attention and the thing slowly spreads out. I know you got it clamped, but I've seen shit like this happen before. So trust me. Okay, I'm going to get back to this. Okay, here, let me come around the other side, then you guys get a visual a little better. So the inner rocker panel is all welded in. Oh, my helmet out of the way. So there we go. Got it all welded in. How do I zoom in here? Here we go. I've ground down all the plug welds. Looks good. It's all lining up perfectly with the existing one right there. Love it. So what's next here is, put that back so I can reach. What's next is finish. I did finish welding it here, the outer rocker. Got all that welded up good, ground down, solid, you can stand on it. Got nicely welded along in there, as you can see. So I got to run a weld down the inside here, attaching this outer to this piece. Then we're done with the rocker. And then what's next is, well, we'll cut some more floors away, I would think. And like, oh well, one thing I want to do, like I said, is I want to cut this out so I have access to in here. And I am going to put a few little holes, not little holes, but I'm going to put like one near the forward, one here, one near the back, drain holes. If we ever get any water in there, it'll drain out. And yeah, I'm going to start cutting the floor away. What I got to do right now is I got to stop here, take a lunch break. And then I don't know exactly how far we'll get today, because I have to make it an early day because I have to take my son. You know my son. You all know I have a son, right? His name is Hank. You've seen him. Hank, the fucked up Frenchie. Oh, sorry, I mean the Frenchie. Anyway, I gotta go with the wife, and we gotta take him down for his Christmas photos. That's right. He's gotta have Christmas photos. So last year it was the Grinch. This year it's old Saint Nick, Santa Claus. Yeah. So it's gonna cut into my day a bit, but either way, I'm gonna go eat some lunch. I'll be back, and we'll do whatever we're gonna do. What did I just say? I don't know. It'll come to me while I'm eating lunch. Alright, back from lunch, and what I did when I got back here real quick was I finished welding it up in here where it wasn't welded. So my next step is, well, this is on. I should say this is on now, guys. It's done. You can stand on that, bounce on that, do whatever the hell you want. I know I gotta cut this out. There. I'm running out of time here because I have to call this day early by 2 o'clock. I think I got like a little over an hour left, but I'm going to lay the new floor. I'm going to find the new floor, lay it in here, and see exactly what I got to cut out for this new floor section. I might get that cut out, and maybe I can get this cut out too, but I don't think I'll be going any further with any welding here today. So let's find some floors and see what goes on. Okay, so here's the new floor plan. Very nice. Love it. Now what they do is, now I bought the whole back one. It goes across this way. So the back one goes here. You get your sides, one here, one over there, and you can buy the centerpiece. I didn't buy the centerpiece. Part of me wishes I had, even though mine's in really good shape, part of me wishes I had, just so it was all new, but it don't matter. So you can see they indented in. So this piece is obviously going to go in first, so when the back piece goes on, it's going to sit over top of it so it's all flush. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lay this, well, I'm laying it in here, and I'm going to draw lines around it. And I always cut less than more. So I'm going to cut some of the floor out, but I'm not going to cut out exactly what I need, because I hate, sometimes you can draw a line around here, cut the whole thing out, and then all of a sudden you go to set it in there and you've cut too much. And that's the worst case. I'm not worried about it at the back here though, because I'm not going to be joining it onto the back anyway, because that won't happen until I get the new piece in. Where I'm mainly concerned is the side. I don't want to cut too much off of that. And then you can see they've got the lip folded up, just like here. So again, you know, we'll come from this side. I'll drill a bunch of holes in here. Usually I'll drill them, I don't know, 1.5, 2 inches apart. We'll plug weld it onto here. Okay? And then the front, you can't really see it, but the toe board comes down and it has a lip, and then this floor goes under that. So I have to clean all that up too. So I'm definitely not going to be putting a floor in today, because I know you may not believe this, but the time you cut this out, clean it up, get everything prepped, there's some time there. So yeah, I'll draw some lines and start cutting is what I'm going to do. One thing to do on these floors is, you see this, it's this here. This is for your master cylinder. All these cars had the master under the floor. They leave it welded up just in case you decide you're going to move your master up to your firewall, which is a good idea. Now you don't got a hole to worry about. In my case, I'm leaving the master under the floorboards. I don't like the look of the master on the firewall. Some people will argue and they'll say, I like the master up there because they can get to it and deal with it. But my way of looking at it is, if the brakes are all new and they're working good, you shouldn't be fucking around with the brake fluid. It should just be fine. You shouldn't be checking brake fluid like you check oil, if you get what I'm going here at. Anyway, let's draw some lines, let's cut. Yeehaw! Sometimes I like to cut things out in pieces when it's a big area. I got my lines on there. So, you know, that big piece there, I've just turned it into 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3 pieces. Just easier to go that way. For me, anyway. Whatever works for you, works for you. Remember that. I'm not trying to teach you what to do here. I'm just showing you what I'm doing myself. Okay, so what I've done is I've got all the floor cut out. Still got a little bit of trimming up in the front area to do, but I got it cut out. The next thing I did was I did drill the holes along the side every couple inches apart for plug welds, which I told you that lip there is going to butt up to this lip. But before you can even get carried away and start fitting floor in there, you got to remember you got some body braces underneath. So I'm grabbing the body brace. Now these body braces don't come with any holes in them. Factory holes. And I'm assuming, again, they don't come with them because maybe they're assuming maybe you're putting your car on a different frame. Then the holes wouldn't line up. So they give you these and you can drill your own holes. It's not that difficult. Some people may be frustrated with it, but really it's pretty simple. So anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm fitting this in here, and I did get the new rubber pad kit. Comes with all the rubber pads. Now some of these rubber pads, believe it or not, you might have to put a shim under if it doesn't exactly reach. And how, here I'll show you this. Where are we here? They all fell on the floor. Here's some rubber pads right here. They go on here. These are factory, you can see that. See how there's a shim on there? There's a shim. It's not just a pad to raise it up. So without that shim, that pad wouldn't be touching. Same as this one. So don't get all excited if you put this in here, and then that, let's say, doesn't quite, it's hard to film, and let me see if I can film this. If that doesn't exactly, like when you're putting it in there, if it doesn't exactly touch, you might just need a shim under that rubber pad. So, but what I'm doing right now is lining it up, and I drilled a hole. Got lined up there, and I got lined up here. Now my thing here is this frame is supposed to have a welded nut in here. Mine obviously broke through. So I'm going to have to weld a nut in here for this mount. So, got to fit that. Gotta do some more trimming there. And after I trim that and the floor seems to fit proper, I got some rust repair in the corner before I can put the floor in anyway. So that's what I'm doing there. That's the other side, nobody cares about that. I always keep these old ones. Sometimes they come in handy. You never know. Don't get rid of them. What else can I show you here that's going on? I think that's about it. I'll try and set the floor in there and give you an idea of what's going on. Let me set the camera down and I'll try and get it in there, and then I'll come right back to you guys. Okay, here we go, guys. So don't get too excited if you're looking at this and you're trying to zoom in and be like, oh, it's not sitting 100% perfect. I just set it here to give you an idea right at the moment. I don't got it perfect, but like I'm saying, the two lips meet up. Then we're going to plug weld from this side. Of course, before we do all that, we're going to put our weld through primer, which I've explained over and over again. Sometimes I don't mention that and people have a fit. You didn't mention the primer. Well, I can't mention it every time, can I? Anyway, so here we go. You see the dip, recess, whatever you want to call it. Like I say, I'm not a teacher. That's going to sit up in there like that. All right? That just sits right in there. Now some of you might say, well, now you've got it overlapped kind of. That is how they kind of did. It's going to be overlapped up underneath there. But it ain't going to matter. It's all good. We'll get underneath it and we'll weld her up there too. So here I'm probably going to, again, I'm going to plug weld it. I'll drill some holes, plug weld it up under, from the bottom side up. Have to get the car up a little higher. And then that's it for there. Excuse me. You can see how this is lining up beautiful. Like I said, I still got to do some trimming up in here. So I got to do that next. We got to cut this out. This I'll probably cut out again when the floor is welded in the car. We'll see. Maybe I'll cut it out now. I don't know. Sometimes easier to cut it when it's welded, I say, because then the thing is structurally sound. It's welded in. Then I can cut it. It's not bouncing all over like it would be on the bench, right? But we'll see where we go here. But, like I say, before you can put this in, you got to figure out your yeah, this was the one. You got to figure out your mount. That's going to go up underneath there. Then again, you're going to drill some holes through here. This hole you got to cut out for sure, because that's where your bolt is to get to it. Access, just like that side over there, see? There's your bolt hole. You get a rubber plug that covers it. Alright, so we're going to do that, but we're going to figure out where this is going to go. We're going to set this under here. What I'm actually going to do is bolt it down. Bolt it to the chassis. It's going to bolt to the frame. I'm going to set the floor back in there, go underneath the felt pen, draw a line on either side. So pretend I'm under the car right now. And that's sitting there like that. I'm going to draw a line. Then I'm going to go, lift the floor back out. I'm going to drill holes within that line. So the holes then, I can plug weld it onto here. Boom, 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 boom. And again, weld through primer, let it dry up, Scotch Brite it a bit, put some rust paint in there. Right? You're never going to get to it ever again. Now these factory mounts from the original, from the dealers on these cars, they had an oval hole cut in them. These new ones don't, which I appreciate, because the original ones, all the shit from your tires splashing up and going right in there. Again, what I will do though is I always like to drill a hole or two as drainage, just in case you're always going to get water everywhere. In case you get water in there, it can drip out. It's not just sitting in there, right? But I do like that this isn't cut out like the factory ones. So, yeah, I'm going to do some more cleanup in here. We're a long ways away to welding. It just isn't going to happen today. I'm going to clean this up, probably spray this, try and weld the plug over, trying to weld that nut in the frame there, and I think my day's coming to an end. But whatever else I get done here, I will show you. Okay guys, that's it. That's a wrap for today. So I trimmed back what I needed to along in here to get the floor to fit properly. As you can see, I got some rust repair I'm going to need to do before I even put the floor in. I set yeah, having a brain fart here. Whatever you want to call it. The body support mount. I've set it in here. I've got my rubber cushion underneath. It's lining up pretty nice. I did try the floor in here again. I bolted that down temporary for now, just so I could make the marks on the floor and line that up. See, so that's what those holes are. So now, this is literally the top side of the floor, so I will plug weld that to that. But before we do that, I'm going to pull this back off before I shut this camera, or when I shut this camera off. I'm going to Scotch-Brite it lightly and put some rust paint in there, because I'm never going to get to it again. That way, there we go. I'm not going to put any rust paint here, because we need our weld through primer there, because we're going to be welding to that. Put down in here, we'll put some rust paint. So that'll come back off. I drilled the hole in here. That hole there lines up with this one here, so you can get to your body mounts to unbolt them. Okay, and I've also got to drill out the other hole that goes further down. So that's done. Floor's cut out, lined up. That is a wrap for today. That's not bad. That was a, believe it or not, and sometimes why I do this, I tell you guys how many hours I'm into it for, is because sometimes my customers are watching. I want to give them an idea of how long this takes. That was 5 hours for me today. Shorter day today. Normally I like to spend 8 hours out here, but like I say, I got to take Hank down with the wife to get his Christmas photos of old Saint Nick, and so that's a 5-hour day. I also do it for you guys out there that are building cars and maybe kind of giving up because you think it takes so long to do something. It takes time. Building a car is not a race. It takes time, and you never know what you're going to run into when you're working on them. You think you're going to cut the floor out and replace the floor, or cut the rock off and replace it, but then, like I say, when you get in there, you find other rust in behind that. So don't get discouraged if something is taking you longer than you thought. The whole idea of the whole thing is, the first thing is the chase of the car. The second thing, the funnest thing I love, more than even building the car, probably as much as driving the car, is the swap meets, the hunt of the parts and the people you meet and the deals you get. That's the second best thing ever. Then the third thing is the build. You take your time, you have fun. The fourth thing is, you drive it. You drive it and you enjoy it. And drive the shit out of it, because you deserve to. With that being said, hey, that's it. I'll catch you during the week. We'll get some videos up of the 57 Ford car running now. She's running, she's out the door. And I don't know, whatever else is going on. It's Monday tomorrow. I don't work. So I'll see you Tuesday. See you later.